Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
So once prices trade there, you have an offer just sitting out there, and all of a sudden market trades down there, and that's how it can work for options trading. With pivots, it helps give you an indication of potential support and resistance, and that's what the beauty is. And it's not just being able to use it for a day. You can use the same theory for a week and a month. Now, I have this way of filtering out these pivots, and I use a moving average approach. I use a pivot point against a 3-period pivot point moving average. If the market, it gives me a shorter-term crossover inflection point, it tells me that the market's in a bullish mode, and it helps filter out my pivots for me automatically, which would be, again, R2 to S1 if I'm bullish, and that would be my predicted range for the time being. The opposite is true for being bearish. Once we have that crossover, that inflection point between a 3-period pivot point moving average and my pivot point, this is the crossover, would help give me a clue that the market is in a bearish condition. Then I would be looking at R1 down to S2 for my next target range. Now let's take a look. This is the EUI. This is the ISE's Euro FX Index, and this is using the person's filtered pivots. Notice that even back here, and we're going to go, and this is for the last week. Last week, when the market was trading around 64.5, as you can see here, notice it gave me what the potential high and the potential low might be based on this day's action. The next day, and it hit right 100%, right on the money. And that's amazing. So if you were bullish, instead of buying on the close, you have an idea that based on the ways to anticipate, and we teach people how to do that, by taking, if the market's bullish and if this is the close, let's say 10 minutes before the close, what would be tomorrow's range, kind of give us that in advance. Well, I know that, we might see a lower open, we'll buy near support. Look how that would probably help you by buying a little bit cheaper. And that's right there is good trading. But then we have an anticipation of not only what the potential range might be, but it also tells us what the potential condition is. How is that? Because notice the red line is higher than the prior day's red line. So the market's bullish. And the next day, you don't even have a chance. Not a chance in hell. The market gaps higher. Because the thing about the Euro FX Index, as its counterpart, the FXE, the Exchange Traded Fund, they don't trade 24 hours. So you need to follow, or you can follow, the spot currency markets and trade this market for more position trading. One of the benefits of this, I'm going to tell you right now, when you trade spot Forex, they say it's no commissions, but you're getting raped a little bit on your fills, like maybe 3 pips with a lot of these people. There's a lot of decent slippage out there when you're trading spot Forex. Another thing is you're paying a rollover fee. That's right. You pay a triple rollover fee with some foreign currency firms on Wednesday by holding a day trade overnight. So if you're long a foreign currency on a Tuesday and you hold it into Wednesday, you're getting whacked for a rollover fee per 100,000 lot. It could be anywhere from an additional $10 to $20 charge per position just by holding it from Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday morning. So there's some pros and cons about every aspect of the market, and I highly invite you to explore and ask questions. I find that novice traders just don't ask enough questions. When you say, what are my costs, what are your hours, is your dealing desk open 24/7? You'll find out that some Forex companies actually close their order desk at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the market's still open, but they just close their dealing desk down at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is kind of crazy. So if that's the situation, why not look at an option or more of a position trade? And by using my person daily filtered pivots, you can tell that the market's giving us bullish indications every day by showing us that we have higher predicted highs. Now notice here, right here where I'm drawing, we didn't get up to that predicted high. It's the first time the market didn't get up to a predicted high. But notice that prior to this, all last week, we had the sequence of higher highs and higher lows. The system, the person pivot filtered method was telling us the market condition was bullish. Now, remember earlier in the presentation I said it's very, very important to look at monthly and weekly. It's more important to look at those higher degree time frames than the daily. The daily's good. It'll help keep you in a framework of what the market condition is. The daily and the weekly will give you some higher levels of expectations and support and resistance. Notice that today the market didn't get up to the predicted resistance. And the reason is, look, we're looking at weekly resistance. If I could have told you on Friday that the potential high for next week could be 67.32, that's powerful information, because let's say you were using and we're in the Euro FX index, you could be in calls, you have a darn good idea of what your potential exit strategy could be, based on not your opinion, based on a mathematical formula. Or if you don't believe the mathematical formula, then at least you could say, you know what, maybe I'll scale out of some of my position here. So the person weekly pivots help target the potential end of this uptrend that we've seen today or this last week and a half. Now here's a different aspect and a different viewpoint. What you're looking at is an actual trading system. Now earlier in the presentation, Steve said if you go visit nationalfutures.com, we have a lot to offer, and I do. What I offer is, this is a charting program. It's a trading system. It gives us buy and sell indicators. Buy and sell indicators are these green and orange. You notice here that we had a buy signal. And you'll also notice this red line here. Okay? Guess what that is? That's a monthly resistance. Guess what this green thing is? That's a monthly support. It's interesting that the monthly support is the same level as it was last month. Notice our resistance. The market was targeting the month before's resistance, not far off July's resistance. It's very simple how to use this. Don't take buy signals at resistance. Look for sell signals at resistance. We had a generated sell signal, and the last big trade we had, or indication of being on the short side, was this bar right here, approximately in the spot Forex 157.5. And you'll see all the way down in this trading system, using my pivot point analysis, the market never generated a buy signal. In fact, notice where we are at. We are at monthly predicted pivot point resistance. So for me, that's good enough to say, we had a nice trade in the market. It's probably not going down to zero. And in this strong trend, we may do something that people forget about. And this is where people get chopped up. Markets go through trend, and then they go through consolidation periods, that choppiness. Two things will happen. Either the market will reverse the trend or it will resume the trend. But at this point in time, I believe, based on pivot analysis, based on price history, that the market has probably hit an impasse and should go through a consolidation phase at this point in time. So again, I hope this information is not based on opinion. It's based on technical analysis, and most of it based on mathematical formulas using our pivot indicators.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts.